Welcome to Small Business Saturdays video series with your host and my husband.
And my dad, Aaron Montgomery.
Join the conversation.
Let's talk some business.
All right. Welcome into Small Business Saturdays here on, hey, guess what? It's a Saturday. It is August 29th, and my name's Aaron Montgomery, and you can find me over at our Success Group, which will pop right up there for you. So oursuccessgroup.com is where you can find me. Today, everyone, we are going to chat some sublimation. There's very few people out there that love sublimation as much as I do, but I have found somebody that I would say takes the cake, and she is a sublimation junkie, lover, diva, whatever you want to call it. She is the embodiment of sublimation and just does a lot for the industry, runs a very popular group that we'll talk about. Sublimation for Beginners and Beyond is one of them. But the big thing that she does, Cheryl Kuchek is her name, and she actually brings us the Sublimation Summit. Last year was the first live event, and this year, because of everything COVID related, it is a virtual event, but we'll get into all that. So I don't need to give away all that, but just see who's checking in here this morning first, and then we'll grab Cheryl and start this chat about sublimation here this morning. So Cindy, no ride this morning, so I'm here. Hopefully that's not a bad thing. Hopefully just taking a little break. I know you get out and ride quite a bit. So good morning, Todd, and good morning, Jerry and Becky. Appreciate everybody checking in here this morning. So as people are tuning in, we'll get started. In fact, let's go ahead and bring Cheryl in now. And let me click the right button. There we go. Good morning, Cheryl. How are you this morning?
I'm good. How are you?
I am doing great. Thank you so much for spending some time with us here this morning. I know you are crazy busy. Plus, it's your birthday weekend yesterday. We got to wish you happy birthday on the two regular guys, but happy birthday here in person today. You're very welcome.
Thank you.
Yeah. Gonna be an exciting weekend. Big plans?
Well, I'm going to be with my kids, which is always a blessing for me. I love my children. You know, they're just fun. They're fun.
Yeah.
And I went shopping yesterday, so I got up at 2:30 in the morning to get work done. So 2:30 to 9:30. Then took the rest of the day.
Nice. That's keeping busy. Todd says happy 29th birthday.
Thank you, Todd. But I'm 41. I mean, that's what the calendar said. I swear.
I love it. Sharon, good morning. Thank you so much for joining us. And Janessa up early. So everybody checking in here this morning, Cheryl. So Cheryl, let's dive right in. As I told you before, I always like to be around 30 minutes, but I never am. So it's always a good effort.
Yeah.
But let's dive into some sublimation. Let's start off, wherever you want to go, really, but maybe start us off with some of the products you're in love with now. That's the nice part about the video side of this. You can show us some too, I believe. So start us off there.
Okay, so I would say that my absolute favorite product this year, well, there's too many probably, but if I had to pick a product of the year, I would absolutely take the Artist Spree stamp pads and markers. OMG. Absolutely. Stamping used to be one of my favorite things to do. And being able to incorporate that now with sublimation is insane for me. It's like, I got to show you some samples, but what's so cool is there are so many people with lasers. Well, you can make your own stamps. Here's my monogram.
Wow.
Here's my monogram. Right?
That is cool. Wow. I never even thought of that. And, we were fortunate enough to have Tanya and Ashley on Two Regular Guys not too terribly long ago, and I was just blown away with the stamps and that kind of stuff. But wow, that's a new level.
It's like I just did an article for Graphics Pro on it because I'm so in love with this product. So here's the stamp, and here's what I did with, if y'all can see that, with the markers and the stamps, and it's. So here's and they got so many beautiful colors. And then here, of course, is the stamp pad. I
Nice.
think it's a game changer in the industry. And
Yeah.
the reason that I'm so in love with this is the fact that it gives people the ability to do sublimation, to try it out without having to buy a printer, without have to even buy a heat press. They can do it with an iron as long as it doesn't have the steam holes in it, which you can buy one for $22 on Amazon. I mean, it's
Wow.
crazy. Yeah. Yeah.
Huh.
So you can get into sublimation so inexpensively now. And of course, it is my passion. It's what I love. It's, when I did that first press, as David Gross used to say, he drank the Kool-Aid now because of my husband. He now says he drank the coffee.
Nice. Okay. Drank the coffee. I like it. I like it.
Because
So,
Kool-Aid used to be back, I guess, in the drug days of the 70s, whatever.
yeah.
He would talk about drinking the Kool-Aid.
Yeah. Yeah.
That was a
Totally.
new one on me as well, but whatever.
That's hilarious. I love
So
it.
funny. It's so
Yeah.
funny.
Yeah. For sure.
But anyway, so here's some more that I did. Now, I stamped directly on this. I did not reverse it because if you reverse it, obviously you're going to have a reverse lettering. So
Yeah. Nice. So talk to us a little bit more about using the laser for this. So you're basically just etching out what you, yeah.
not
So is that
etching
an
out.
acrylic?
This is actually rubber. So
Oh,
let me
so
show.
cool.
Yeah,
Okay.
it's a special, look at that. Isn't that
Yeah.
awesome?
That is awesome. And then that just goes. So that the other piece is just a little acrylic piece or something like
Yeah,
that. That
it's a
just
blank
to hold it.
piece that that actually Artistry. This is from Artistry that you can buy, and you just put it on there and you get to stamping. And
That's
so
cool.
I have one that's reversed.
Uh-huh.
So, and then I have one that isn't reversed because some things you can literally stamp directly on and others you can't. So if it's a little porous, you can stamp directly on it.
Wow.
It's so here's one that I did and I love it. So this had some blending to it.
Uh-huh.
And it's just so stinking cool. I mean, what isn't to love about that? And again, I mean, anyone can start. I mean, it's like again, because I'm so passionate about it, I just get so excited. But here's a little, now I did not stamp this, guys. I just made it.
Yeah, sure. Little.
It's just so cute, what
Yeah,
can I do?
totally cute.
Yeah.
Let me get a couple comments here real quick,
Okay.
Cheryl. Debbie says, watching on my TV while I'm eating breakfast before workout. So appreciate you joining us, Debbie. Cindy says, that is so cool. Our junior college has a fabulous technology department that is open to the community. They have a laser. I need to check into trying the stamps. I didn't even think of that too, man. I'm getting so many good
got to show you. Okay, let me grab if I
Mhm.
can. Let me
Yeah,
grab
absolutely.
the rubber because it's important. Not all rubber is the same, and not all rubber can be cut because it can, cause you fumes. And by the way, I have my Sublimation lab coat on.
I was gonna say, I thought that looked like a lab coat. You
It's
got
a
the
lab coat.
doctor in the house here.
Okay, so I made up this word. It is sublimologist. So Cheryl Kuchek. Right?
I love it. Yeah.
Yeah.
Cool.
Go there.
Yeah, totally. Okay, so tell us about the rubber here.
Special rubber for laser engraving. And I bought this through Trotec, and I don't know the name of this, but if
Okay.
you tell them that you're looking for the rubber, but I tried lots of different rubber that was heatable, and this was the only one that worked.
Okay. So going over to Trotec to find that. That's great.
Yeah.
Okay, and then you're laser cutting that. Cool. All right. So what else do we got in the sublimation lab over there?
And I love the lab. I really
yeah.
do. Okay, so here's another product that this is just a tile, but my husband drilled a hole in it, and now it became a clock. I don't know if you can really see it too well.
You kind of get it. I can see the hands there a little bit. Oh, cool.
So this is, there's so much you can do in the lab.
In the lab. Yep, totally.
Okay, so here's
What
some
else we
more that people will really love. This, again, I really try hard to make sure that people are able to test and try sublimation because, again, for me, this is such a big deal. And by the way, y'all, I'm going to be having Aaron Montgomery and Todd Downing. They will be in my group Tuesday. So you guys will have to tune into that.
Yeah.
But this is, excuse me, this is lamination laid on top of a flat panel.
Oh, wow.
Panel and then sublimated.
So you sublimated onto the lamination, basically.
I did. So first you have to heat the lamination on top. You press that, and then you sublimate it.
Okay. All right.
And then
Is there a special laminate that you have to have for that, as far as you know? Okay.
Nope. I tried them. I tried them all. I bought a roll, but no, you don't. You
Okay.
can use what
So typically, then the laminates are just polyester. That's all.
This is the matte finish, and again, I don't know how well you can.
Yeah,
see
but when you keep moving it, there you go.
Yeah.
It looks great.
Okay, so and then this is a glossy one.
Okay, and this is the same thing, a laminate.
Yep,
on
this
top.
is laminate. Yep, and this is just a wood that you buy from Michael's for $1.
So just
And
probably
in
like
fact,
wood.
you can buy it at the dollar store for $1 as well.
And then you just laminate it.
Yeah,
So you're heating the laminate on it. So you're putting that on it first, and then you're sublimating it.
Yep.
And wow, so I would have thought that maybe that extra heat would have got the laminate to peel back off, but apparently doesn't have a problem with that. That's so cool. So cool.
Yeah.
All right.
So I'm just going to show you some more. I did this on a ceramic tile.
Okay.
And I would never sell this, but it's kind of cool if you want to make it and do it for yourself. But I wouldn't sell it. This, however, I would sell.
For sure.
The wood, I absolutely would sell.
Sure.
Yeah. So it's not coming off. It's beautiful. Here's another one. Just absolutely love this.
Nice. Is that on wood as well, or
Yeah, that's on that bark wood that you can get from Michael's.
Wow, I gotta get into Michael's.
And here's one again, just on just a piece of wood. So I mean, they come out gorgeous. They really do come out gorgeous.
They do for sure. That's fantastic. All right.
So
So anything else in the product? Here, real quick question for you. Todd did ask on the one, why sell the one and not the other? What was the drawback to the one that you said you wouldn't sell?
It would peel. It would peel very easily if, and so, to me.
Yeah, sure. No, it makes sense.
Yeah. This you could peel off because anything that doesn't, that's porous.
Yeah.
You're going to be able to have, no issues with when it's non-porous, it's going to be a problem.
Gotcha. Okay, perfect. That answers for sure. Wanda is checking in and says hello, and it said, I did this on canvas.
Yep. You can do it on but they sell the polyduct canvas. So to me, I don't want to add extra steps.
Yeah.
And so, but again, this is for this canvas that I got. This was like 2 for $1 at the dollar store.
Nice. Yeah. What, Cheryl, do you have a rough, kind of putting you on the spot here, your rough estimate of what the laminate cost is?
Well, you can buy it at Home Depot or not Home Depot, but Staples, any of the office places. You can use the pouches. People have asked that lots of times.
Okay.
Let me just give you an example of the time and temp because I don't want people to get, okay, so it's 350 degrees and you press it for 120 seconds. And that is the time. And it will adhere to this beautifully.
Gotcha.
And then when you press it, you only use parchment paper on top when you go to sublimate it. And then that is 350 for 60 seconds. But I mean, I don't know if you can tell, but the colors absolutely pop on this.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah, it really does stand
unbelievable.
out. Yeah, it
Yeah.
really does stand out.
Yeah.
Cindy, I think I can answer this. She said, "Can you share a link for the rubber?" We'll have to look into that. That you said it was Trotec. I'll go take a look after we're done here, Cindy, and post that. So, good stuff. Okay, so Cheryl, let's unless you've got some other stuff there, but how about we talk a little bit about, we're late August, almost September here, so that means the holidays are coming up. What are you thinking for the holidays? What should people be thinking about in the sublimation world as the holidays approach here?
There are so many cool, awesome new products. First off, I don't know how many are familiar with Condi systems, but they have some of the most amazing linen products. And in fact, I got a bunch being shipped to me to demonstrate. I'm super excited about it because their linen is beautiful. So for me, my big items are the pillow covers. Ornaments, of course, are always huge. Probably my number one seller.
Okay.
Mugs, coasters, and then you have these little puppies here, which I love. The little wine.
Yep. Yeah. The stemless wine tumblers.
Yes,
those are definitely a hit.
So awesome.
Yeah.
And then they have these, and I love this too. I mean, all of these are really, really cool. So
nice. And is that metal? Is that a stainless steel or something like that?
Yeah.
Oh, it's a tumbler too. Okay.
Yeah.
So, wow.
And
cool.
then this one, like the wine, stemless wine, but this one has a handles to it, just in case you're a sloppy drinker.
Oh, I need that. Oh boy. And that's just the coffee in the morning. So
Oh, wow.
Yeah, exactly. Cheryl, on the ornaments, what's there's definitely different styles and stuff like that out there. Anything
Well,
you're seeing?
I just want to show you this too.
Oh, sure. Yeah, let's do that.
Far off.
Yep.
Okay, so this is these are brand new from Condi. Again, they are they're like a burlap. Oh my gosh, they sublimate beautiful.
Nice.
It's just, and they have 3 different sizes to them, and they come in a pack of 10. So, but the wine bags, the littler ones. This to me is perfect for a small puzzle. Like if you did a 25-piece puzzle, put the same picture on there. Really cute for kids.
That's
Super
awesome.
cute for kids. Yeah.
I mean, it's just a great way to kind of
or maybe the old people. No, I'm kidding.
It's just a cool little way though to kind of add that extra value to the product. Like I said, it's a puzzle. I could see putting some ornaments in there as like a gift pack or something like that.
Yeah,
so.
well, but it's also just really cool to be able to have a place for your puzzle, to keep your puzzle.
Yeah.
So,
that's awesome. That idea.
It's pretty awesome.
Yep. Cool. So back to my ornament question real quick, if you don't mind. What are you seeing in the ornament space? Obviously you've got a lot of the aluminum stuff that like a Unisub product or something like that. The hardboard, I know with the laser, you always cut some really cool shapes and stuff like that. And then obviously there's ceramic. Is there any that stand out more than the others? Oh, there we go.
So here's the wood ones, and these are really, really cool. You can sublimate on both sides. Love these.
Yeah. And it's got buffalo plaid on it, so it's going to sell like hotcakes, right?
Exactly. It is. It has so many. There's so many things. I'm just trying. I'll tell you the other product that I really love is, and in fact, it's this right here. But let me see if I have a different design. Well, actually, I have this.
Okay.
Let me show you this. This
perfect.
This is a textured. This is from Unisub, and I love it. But it's textured and it looks like canvas. Oh my God, this thing Sublimate's beautiful. That actually almost looks glossy, but this is also textured. So they have the coasters,
Yeah. And that's great with the coasters and having them textured. One of the problems with the traditional coasters was they were just that gloss. And so it kind of, the water just ran off of it. It didn't really serve its purpose as a coaster. So that's cool.
Yeah, but this, I mean, it has a feel to it, but it has, it's just, I can't even tell you, except for that it's almost like a painting. Yeah. It almost comes out like a painting. It just is so gorgeous. Yeah. So gorgeous.
Yeah, for sure. So Debbie says, I like their variety of ornaments, and you can advertise non-breakable versus breakable. Yep. So like if you're
that's true.
The pet market, you want to have those non-breakable ornaments. I know our dog chewed up a few ornaments when she was a puppy. So
yeah, those puppies.
Yeah.
So here's another thing that so I started making some borettes. So taking white acrylic and cutting it out, and then using them as borettes.
Nice. So for us guys out there, what's a borette?
This one doesn't have the clip on it, or I would show it to you. But
gotcha. Yeah, got it. Okay. Good. All right.
So what got to be the number one seller. This has got to be the number one seller of the year. Face masks.
Yep.
OMG.
Yes, the face masks are going like crazy. I've got a stack over here to the side of me as well. And
I mean, and people are doing every type of design under the sun. So I want to give a little tip about sublimating them, because there have been a lot of questions, and I get this in my group all the time on how, especially on the black and the white ones. I meant to grab it, but I didn't. But they will have, you just happen to have one?
Sorry, I had to. Okay. I actually had one sitting right here. So
okay, awesome. Okay, so a lot of people get the white, like when they're doing a full bleed, they'll get the white around the rim. Yep. Does anybody know what I'm talking about?
Yep.
Okay. So
yes, right underneath the seam here, right?
Yes, exactly. If you will cut out your design and tuck it under that black seam,
okay.
If you will tuck the whole thing, you will have a perfect press every time. No white showing at all.
Okay. So trimming that out and then tucking it under seam. Nice. Wow, that's a great idea.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
I normally just smash the crap out of it, and that seems to do the trick sometimes too. But yes, you do have some from time to time that have a little white underneath it. So
for me, if I'm going to sell something, if I'm going to give something to I want it to be perfect. I do. And it's definitely my downfall is perfection. I think trying to be perfect and with the products and stuff. Can you relate to that at all, Aaron?
just a smidge, not at your level, but you're pretty incredible when it comes to that. So, see, this is why we've got along so well. Is that like I said, there's very few people that are sublimation crazy as I am. Going after the perfectness as much as I do. So
true. And the thing is, when you have a passion for something, and I seriously have a passion for sublimation, you want it to represent the best that it possibly can. And I go into stores and I look, and there's sublimation mugs, of course them, and the side of it is all messed up. You don't have that fine line there that you're supposed to have, that, and it's like, they're selling that for $29. Are you kidding me?
Exactly. Yeah, I wouldn't sell that for $5. Yeah.
Exactly. I would throw it away. Are you kidding?
Yeah, exactly. All right. Well, Debbie says, Cheryl, quilters call it fussy cutting.
I love it, Debbie. That's great.
Yeah. All right. Well, if you guys have questions for Cheryl, please feel free to go ahead and put them in the comments there, and we'll get them in front of Cheryl. But Cheryl, you mentioned the group kind of briefly. Let's start there. Can you tell us a little bit about the one group that I come to mind is Sublimation for Beginners and Beyond, but I know you have several of them. So why don't we start there and talk about some of the other groups you have too?
Well, Sublimation for Beginners and Beyond is the one that I'm in every day, all the time. Well, I say all the time, when I have time.
Exactly.
It's where I kind of pour my heart and soul. I was the first to start a sublimation group. And I remember Aaron messaging me back years ago.
Long time ago, yeah.
Yeah. And I'm like, I don't let vendors in my group.
Yeah.
Because, honestly, at that time, there were so many that were trying to sell something, and I wasn't interested in, people taking advantage of people, and
Sure.
So anyway, but Aaron was different.
Yeah, so we worked it out, and I think that was great. In fact, I honestly at the time, when you told me that, I said, well, I actually thought that was pretty cool, to keep it to where it is a conversation. It's not a sales pitch, and so at the time I was representing a company, so
right.
We respected that. So
yeah,
it's only until I left that I was able to see in behind the curtain.
And it's funny because you're the one that got me into the heat transfer end of it, and maybe kind of on a dare, kind of on a whatever, and I was like, yes, let's do it. And it was really cool, and I'm so thankful and grateful for that, because it really it complements sublimation, and that's what I love about it. It doesn't take away, where I feel like some of the other processes would have taken me in a different direction. Sure. This actually complements it, one, because probably the number one question that I see and hear all the time is, can I sublimate on dark cotton? Can I sublimate on cotton? Can I? And so that was, to me, like the missing link or the missing piece that sublimation didn't offer. That was super important to a lot of people crossing over the bridge.
Sure.
Of vinyl,
Yeah, I know that's definitely always been the biggest question about sublimation. It's that, you're showing us all these really cool products and different things, but not once have we really kind of talked about a shirt. And I think people kind of get too tunnel visioned into the fact that they need to do shirts. And, they're it's kind of one of those things where, you're not going to try to eat soup with a fork necessarily. You got to have the right tool for the job at hand.
Right. Exactly.
And the heat transfer. Yeah. So, all right. So, Cheryl, what else were we missing in the sublimation world here? And then we can kind of get back to the groups a little bit more. But what other things should people be thinking about as we head into the fourth quarter when it comes to their sublimation business?
Well, the other thing I would like to talk about is how much we've had to pivot, because pivoting our business, for some people, they've literally gone out of business because they didn't pivot. Sure. Other people have shifted and probably done better than they could have if they would have just, if life would have been normal.
Yeah.
Some have succeeded tremendously. I think I hope that people listening, and I'm sure that people that are your audience, they have pivoted. They have pivoted. They are being successful. And it's such a wonderful thing to have programs like this where people can come and share ideas and hear from great speakers. And, you're doing a great job, by the way, Aaron.
Well, thank you. Thank you very much. I appreciate that much. I think that's a really huge point that you make, though, Cheryl, is I know early on, we all didn't know what the heck was going on. And it was certainly pretty scary. I was sitting there going, okay, what
Yeah.
kind of,
Yeah.
I was already kind of making some big changes in my life, and I was like, oh boy. But then, I immediately realized, with the help of everybody that I get to communicate with here, that yeah, like you said, what's important right now is going forward, pushing forward, pivoting, having a plan, doing things. And I agree with you. I think it's been wonderful to watch people that, it kind of forced some people to do some things that maybe they wouldn't have done, like you said, if it was normal. But in the end, they ended up being more successful than if they would have, I believe 100%. If you sat there and sat on your hands and were just kind of like worried and waiting to see what happened, yeah, things were going to happen to you that weren't good.
Right. Right.
And
Absolutely.
yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. And so
that has been, probably the saddest thing to me, is to see really good people do nothing, just wait and see. And, of course it costs them a lot of people with brick and mortar businesses that refuse to pivot. They're no longer there. I mean, how can you sustain 6 months of doing nothing and not having income coming in? And just, it's been a story for sure. But, I think it's also probably one of the most exciting opportunities in so many ways, because we are forced to do what's uncomfortable.
yeah. Yeah, no, I agree with that 100%. Like you said, it's an opportunity is the perfect word to use there, because that's actually what it is. It gave us the opportunity to do something. It didn't mean that you all had to go get out on e-commerce. It meant you had to try different things. You had to do something different.
Yeah.
And the great part, I think, is that. Go ahead, Cheryl. Sorry.
Sometimes it was just going live on Facebook, on your Facebook page, just to show your neighbors and your friends, what you're selling. I mean, for some people, that's where they started, and now they're growing a business that they didn't even know that that was possible. Which is those are the exciting stories to me that I really get caught up in. Yes, I love that.
Yeah. And I wanted to kind of address this comment here real quick, Cheryl, because I think it's important to kind of look at all the different things, because that was my point, as far as, like what you said, it's just doing something a little bit different. Because Ron said for a lot of folks, it was a moral decision. Do I capitalize on the pandemic with mass, or do I do nothing? But that's only part of it. It's do I do nothing in general, or do I change my business? It doesn't have to be mass. If mass weren't for you and it didn't fit with what you were doing, then that's okay. But like Cheryl said, it could be as little as, starting to advertise more on Facebook, or, do something different with your brick and mortar, kind of be able to make it more production friendly, or I, like Todd had a location in the mall, and obviously being at a mall didn't really do a whole lot when it was closed,
right.
But he was able to kind of refocus his business in, okay, I need to make sure that we're getting the production going the way we need it. We're going to focus on wholesale stuff where we don't have to rely on the walk-in business. And it's just making changes, I think, is the pivot. It doesn't have to be mass. So,
well,
Cheryl, your thoughts?
I do want to comment on that, because I saw a lot of what Ron is saying about the moral decision to, quote, capitalize on the pandemic. And the truth of the matter is that to me, there was a lot of people shaming people for selling masks.
Yeah.
I mean, especially in the very beginning, it was like, oh my God, what a horrible person. And I had one that just, probably 100 comments before I knew that it was actually happening, where they were coming down on this person for selling masks. And I'm like, are you kidding me? Like, seriously? I mean, it's our time. It's everything that we're putting into it. It's our money. And we're going to sell it, and we're going to be shamed for that. I think I don't think it's right. I think the truth is that, and the bottom line is that person, it was kind of like water running off of a duck's back because they didn't let them stop them, and they're doing really great. I think, again, Ron, I think that that's a great, a great point that you're making, because it truly was, in the beginning anyway, I think, a moral question. And now it's like anything and everything goes, as far as selling the masks. But in the beginning, that was really tough, because people had to stand the ground and say, listen, it's okay for me to make money. And you and I both have talked about that many times.
Sure.
Like, what the heck is wrong? Why is it wrong that some people can make money and it's perfectly okay, but other people, because they didn't do it for free, it's not okay. We live in the United States for a reason, and we live in a free country for a reason,
Yeah.
Democracy.
Yeah.
Thankfully.
I mean, that's something that I've always said throughout my entire career, Cheryl, is that, profit's not a dirty word. It doesn't, the things that kind of get associated with the negative side of that have nothing to do with being being negative or not. It's how you run your business. You run your business on what your core values are, and go from there. But I don't think that.
See, I love that, Aaron. That's the key to me, is you run your business on your core values. Some people don't have core values. That's okay too. It's the US. It's okay. But to me, when you do run it on your core values, I think you have something to build. I think you have something to, a foundation that you can build upon. And I love that.
Yeah. And at the end, I guess, to me, money and making money, it's kind of like you have to have that ability. I can't help people if I can't help myself. You can't
help people if you can't feed your family.
Correct. Yeah.
And again, I love that. Profit is not a dirty word, and I have struggled for such a long time when it comes to people, and for quite a while, I only sold to businesses because, and gave everybody stuff for free in my group all the time, still do. But I realized, people don't value free.
Yeah.
And at the end of the day, people don't value free. If they didn't have to pay something, then it just was kind of put on the stack of whatever. Oh, okay, well, I'll get to that, and it doesn't matter. And, no value there for the most part. And, I've had to learn that. I truly have had to learn that, profit's not a dirty word.
Yeah, totally. It's
always good to be reminded too.
Totally. I say it all the time, and I have to remind myself, and
right.
It is definitely one of those things. But I think your point about, the fact that we have to make an investment in ourselves, and like I said, a lot of times that's, for sure. I spend a lot of money to become a Success Principles certified trainer, and so because of that, I've taken it really seriously, and I've really worked hard on it, and at the same time, that's really done great things for me personally too. So, somebody made money, and in this case, quite a bit of money. Mr. Canfield does just fine for himself. He's very wealthy. And so, but it is a cool thing. It's like that investment in yourself. I get that same feeling. And so, that same thing. People make an investment in something. And that's, I think, probably our number one thing in business that we can do is help our customers feel that sense of, I've made an investment in something good. And so that's where one of the things, wrapping this back to sublimation, Cheryl, is that's the great part about sublimation. You have these beautiful things that, we take the dollar sign thing right out of the equation, because it's more about the value of it, this perceived value of this beautiful thing. You're making that little canvas or wood piece, you got maybe a couple bucks into it. But I don't think about that being a $2 thing. It's like, oh my gosh, that's this really nice thing. And it's like, okay, what's it worth? I don't know. Here's a $20 bill, maybe more. I don't know. So we don't. Go ahead, Cheryl.
Makes a comment in my group. What's the cheapest way to start sublimation?
Mm-hmm.
My comment is always the same, and that is cheap and sublimation do not belong in the same sentence.
Yeah,
because there is nothing cheap, in my opinion, nothing cheap about sublimation, and it's not a cheap process. Now, it doesn't mean you can't be cheap. It's just that you're probably not going to have a product that most people would want to spend money on. But that being said, I will take it back and say that when it comes to these markers and stamps, people can get into sublimation at a very inexpensive price.
Yeah,
okay?
Yeah. But when, I mean, but when you come back to, because I think one of the things that I've noticed, and I know I do it myself too, is that in our minds we equate value and cost is basically the same thing, but they're not. They're two different things. We don't have a real good ability. I can't tell you exactly what it would cost to make a car, but I can buy two very similar cars for very different ranges of money. I can buy a Mercedes or I can buy a Chevy. I think the costs involved are probably not too terribly far apart, but somebody's going to pay a lot more money for a Mercedes versus maybe a regular Chevy. It's that same. I think that's the cost value thing. And so as a business, it's our job to educate our customers on the value of what we produce. So
and the truth is that the Mercedes, even to maintain it, is going to cost more than the other. But are the parts really that different? Are they? That's a true. I mean, I happen to have a Mercedes, but the wiper is $35 for a wiper.
Yeah.
So it's versus like a $2 wiper, on something else, or a $5,
Sure.
$35, really?
Yeah, exactly.
The light bulb is $35. If you burn out a light bulb, in $35, crazy.
Yeah.
Crazy.
Yeah. Nice. All right. So good. I'm glad we got to get into some of that stuff, but let's.
And I do want to just make a point to you about the perceived value, because I think it has to happen in here first. I think you have to value what you do, so that other people will value it. Because if you don't value it, why would somebody else value?
Totally.
It's like, if you look at it like, oh, it's cheap, and you're going to sell it for, I'm selling these for $5. And by the way, it cost me $4 to make it, but hey, I'm selling it for $5.
Yeah. And your time's free, and
exactly.
Whatever.
Exactly. Yeah.
No, I think
that's, and I know people, that's probably one of the biggest struggles that I see people have when it comes to marketing. And then the next thing is, I don't have people to market to, because, they would never pay that kind of price. They wouldn't pay $30 for it. I bet if you went into their house, there are things that they bought that they paid a lot more money for that probably wasn't worth the money. So it's just because they don't perceive it, because you don't perceive it as being valuable.
Correct. I think that's a huge point for sure, and I'm glad that you brought that up. And it's we all have what are called money set points. We value different things. I always tell the story when somebody says that, what you mentioned there, the point about, oh, well, nobody would pay that for it, kind of thing. It's like, well, okay, then how come somebody can sell a plain white T-shirt for $300? I mean, there is a market for it. You just have to create it. And I think your point about it starts with us believing in it and believing that there's value in that. Then, So I think thank you for sharing that. That's really awesome information. All right. So we talked a little bit about pivoting, Cheryl. You've obviously done some pivoting here, but let's go back to last year first. Talk to us a little bit about the Sublimation Summit. How that started last year. Maybe give us a little recap of last year, and then talk to us about what you've had to do pivot wise so far this year. So far, right?
It's 2 weeks away so far.
Yeah.
Okay. So, Aaron, I talked to you many times about putting a conference together. Many times. Back in the day,
Mm-hmm.
5, 6, 7 years ago. So it was a dream, it started as a dream that, I wanted to do something. I didn't know how to do it. I didn't know how. I just didn't know how. And, but it was always in my heart, it was something that I really wanted to do, something that was dedicated to sublimation and to heat transfer. Because again, it's my passion. And, I had 2 women come up to me at one of the shows, and they said, you need to do a conference. We need a conference. And, we love your group. We love everything you do, blah, blah, blah. And so I'm like, well, that's in me. That's something I really want. Well, you got to do it. You just got to do it. Somebody else is going to do it. You got to do it. Well, I said, for me, I just got to know that I'm doing it for all the right reasons. And because that, again, goes back to your core values. And so, I came back and I talked to some of the vendors, and thankfully I have developed, some great relationships over the years. And you were definitely one of those people that I contacted before I started the process. I thank God I didn't know what I didn't know.
Yeah, that's always the best place to be.
Because I definitely would not have done the dance, as Garth Brooks says.
Yeah.
So I first I had to find a location, and so the first thing I did was I went to ISS and to MBM shows, and I looked to see where they weren't. And because I didn't want anyone thinking that I was trying to up them, because it hadn't, it was going to be so different. It was based on education.
Mm-hmm.
And so I found Atlanta. So I'm like, that's a great place. It's a hub people can fly into. It's easy to get to. So then the next thing. Now, by the way, I had 3 months to put this together. So I had to find a location. And so we looked at all these places, probably 20, 30 places. And everything was either way too expensive, or they didn't have any bookings. They didn't have any openings. And so I talked to Crown Plaza, and they did have an opening, and they only wanted, a mortgage.
Yeah, they only wanted, mortgage, first child, no big deal.
Exactly. And I got to tell you, had I told my husband what I was signing my life away to, he probably would have told me no.
Yeah.
I'm so serious, because he is not a risk taker, and I am, and I had to really fully believe in it. And there were times when I was like, God, what did I do?
Sure.
And at the end of the day, it came together, and it came together amazing. And I would not do anything differently. I really would not do anything differently.
Yeah. So Cheryl, for some of the folks that didn't get to attend that first year, what were some of the highlights? What were some of the highlights for you?
92 classes.
Yeah.
In 2.5 days, 92 classes. That was crazy. There is on my YouTube channel, Sublimation for Beginners and Beyond, there is a recap of Sublimation Summit and an interview with Aaron.
Yeah, I got to talk to your son, actually. That
was
cool.
You did. You did. It was cool. So all the people that are really big in this industry, Condi, Coastal, Johnson Plastics, God, there were so many, Unisub, Sawgrass, George Knight, they they sent in all the heat presses. I mean, it was just so cool. What my takeaway and what I learned from last year was that we needed labs. We needed hands-on labs. And so that's what we were going to do this year. And we were running down the runway and ready to take off when a pandemic hit.
Yeah, exactly.
And I was still totally in denial because it was, it was out in September, and I'm thinking, surely this stuff is going to be going away by June, no later than July, no problem.
Sure.
So at some point in June, I'm like, okay, I need to get out of denial and do something different here. So it became the virtual Sublimation Summit. And I don't know how many classes, to be honest. I think it's like 58 or something. And there are no repeats of classes. So we have Wednesday is the graphics day. So we have Corel Draw for 2 hours. Then we have Photoshop for 2 hours. Then we have a lunch break. And then we have advanced class for Photoshop. I'm sorry, advanced class for Corel. And then Affinity for the last 2 hours. Then on Thursday, we have 3 classes per hour. And so you can only sign up for one, but you can watch all of them up until December 11th. So your ticket will get you all the classes. But I would recommend that you buy the ticket or you register for the class that you really want to take, because there will be a Q&A for all of the classes. And of course, Erin will be speaking. I think you're doing 2 classes, right?
Okay. Yeah. Like I said, whatever you need, I'm ready. So I appreciate being a part of it. So yeah, I believe 2 classes. I don't have them in front of me here.
You do have 2 classes?
I think so. I thought we talked about 2 classes.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah. Okay. I'm pretty sure you have. Actually, I have some of the classes here. So
yeah. Maybe give us a little rundown there. I appreciate that.
So let's see. Okay. So you have Keys to Successful Business Planning on Thursday. And then let's see on Friday and then you have Pricing Your Products for Profit and More Sales. So you do have 2 classes.
Yes. I thought so. I remembered the planning one, but I forgot about the pricing one. So I forgot about it, but
right.
I got 2 weeks, right? No, it's already done. I just haven't gone back and look. I need to go back and look through it.
And then, so our vendor giveaways are sick. I mean, they are insane. So we have about $20,000 in, for sure 15, but I believe it's closer to $20,000 in giveaways. We have 2 white toner printers, iColor 550 and a 711 white toner. We have 3 Sawgrass printers, one, the SG1000 from Condi. We have huge baskets from Chromolux. I mean, I'm telling you, if the price of the ticket is worth going just to win one of these prizes, because there are so many of them. We have a $500 gift certificate from Coastal. We have Trotec has got 2 100 gift certificates. I Personalize will be there, and they're giving away a year's worth. They're going to do an e-commerce store for somebody. Wow. And I mean, I think that's cool. like a $1,200 or $1,500 offer. So, I mean, it's crazy. The gifts are just awesome. So we will have the giveaways on Thursday and on Friday at 5 p.m. Central Standard Time. Okay. And you will have to be present to win, because that's going to be kind of a big deal.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah. So we have Trotec will be teaching. They're going to be how a laser can help you grow your sublimation business. And I'll have to tell them about the stamps.
Yeah, for sure. They need to get that added to the presentation.
and then Condi is going to be doing sublimation hands-on. Sublimation 911, Sublimation 411. Let's see, Coastal's doing why and how to add heat transfer paper to your dye sublimation. That's going to be a great class. Craft Chameleon, Designing Silhouette Studio for Sublimation. So it's honestly, there's something for everyone. And then I'm going to be doing one with Ashley from Artistry, and it's called Cheryl and Ashley Gone Wild.
Oh my gosh, this is going to be awesome. Speaking of Ashley, Ashley's here. She says, so excited for the summit. Really miss my people. So that's going to be a blast. I can't wait. Wait, which day is that one on?
Okay, Ashley and I are doing that on Thursday. At what time, Ashley? We are doing it 12 Central Time.
Okay.
12 to 12:50. So all the classes are 50 minutes. So you get a 10-minute break. Because we're having people from all over, and in fact, I know that we have at least one person from Australia that signed up. How cool is that?
That is cool.
I know. I'm super excited about that. And then we have, oh my gosh, we have so many amazing classes. We have the photography class. And then we have one with Dane Clements from Graphic Dane. I mean, this guy is incredible.
Yeah. Dane is a fantastic guy.
I'm watching a video with him live, and he's showing these different things on. Actually, I did it with him, but anyway, he's showing these different things of how to do whatever in Corel, and in Photoshop, and I'm like, oh, I know what he's going to do. And then he did something different. And every single thing he did, I thought, oh, I know how. And then he did something different. I'm like, oh my God, there are so many different ways that you can do the same thing in Photoshop. I did not know one of them that he did.
Yeah.
I mean, that's how crazy it is.
Yeah. He's a master at Photoshop. I love Dane.
A master. And so now this class is Affinity Photo or Photoshop. Which option is best for you? Just so you know, Affinity is $50. You buy it. I mean, it's crazy. So I would definitely recommend taking that class. It's going to be great.
Yeah. And the other great part about Dane is he's also just an incredible teacher too. I mean, he's, good down home Louisiana boy. So you get to, he's always got a great story, and it's fantastic.
Yeah. I love him. I really, really, of course I lived in New Orleans for 15 years of my life, and I have 3 of my babies there. So, I have a warm spot for.
Yeah, indeed.
Louisiana.
Nice. Ashley says, how awesome that people can come that might not have been able to ever participate in real life. The silver lining. Yep.
So true, Ashley. That is the truth. I mean, that is a silver lining and there are so many people that have reached out to me and said, thank you so much for doing this, because I could have never gone. I couldn't travel. I'm handicapped, and there's no way that I could have made it. Yeah. So it's just such an awesome thing to me. Are we okay? So Jerry.
Yeah. Jerry says, will you try different locations for the event in the future?
So this is what I'm thinking. I happen to love Crown Plaza. I do. Aaron, that was like one heck of a place. It used to be a training center for Pitney Bowes. And so the facility is phenomenal. I can't even imagine comparing it, because it's almost like a retreat.
Definitely had that feel.
Yeah, it's like, it's not like a conference. It's really like a retreat. And everything about that place, everything, the food, the staff, there was, and of course we are having it in 2021 there. And so honestly, Jerry, unless they really upped the prices on me, I think that I would probably stay there, because it is just a phenomenal facility. It really is. And once you're there, it's like, the grounds are amazing. They're just, what was your top thing that you would say, Aaron, from last year?
I would definitely go with just like you said, it had that retreat feel. You're not too far outside of Atlanta and Peachtree City there. So, you got the big city to fly into. It wasn't that big of a deal to get there. But then once you got on their grounds, like you said, it was beautiful. I loved just walking around, walking from my room over to the conference center was just like, it's like, oh, I was excited to do that in the morning. I wanted to kind of go out by the little lake thing that they had down there. But then, like you said, the feel of it, not only was the staff there really friendly, I guess just the general feel of everything, so had the friendly staff from the Crown Plaza, but then, everybody there was there at the summit too. I mean, it just felt like, it felt like a big family retreat, I think is the way it kind of felt like to me.
Buzz was so real. It was just it was tangible. I mean, it really just, people were just loving it. It just really was really, really incredible.
Yeah. And Ashley says, I have to say, I love the Crown Plaza, all the snacks. That was definitely a good one. It definitely wasn't a trade show feel.
Yeah. Oh yeah. It was so different. So there was food provided all day from 8 to 5. There was hot food all day. There was drinks, beverages all day. Of course, not adult beverages for but there was a bar.
Yeah, exactly.
You could go to, and a lot of people were there until 1, 2 o'clock in the morning. Yeah. I don't know.
It was that feel of, just hanging out with people you wanted to hang out with. We were there for a couple days, and it was a really, really cool feel. But it kind of had that feel, like you said, if you wanted to go to the bar and have a drink, there was people there that you could sit and chat with. If you wanted to get up early and go exercise or whatever, you could do that. So I can't wait to get back. Actually, it was definitely a on my calendar as a highlight. And so I was definitely bummed to miss it this year. For sure.
And I mean, certainly it was on mine too. And I really was hoping against hope, but at the end of the day, I think that this is again, an opportunity that people will be able to be a part of something that they might not have been able to. Mm-hmm. And it will maybe allow other people who didn't know really what it was about to have a feel for what it's going to be next year. And so that being said, I probably will from here on out do a virtual summit as well as a physical one.
Okay.
So right. I think I will add that to the game plan.
Yeah.
That's my hope anyway.
All right. Well, breaking news right here.
Yeah, breaking news.
You've now said it in public, sir. I'm sorry. You have to do it.
Breaking news. But I also want to say that, can I just give the code?
Yeah, please. In fact, let me put up the banner for where people can go first. I mean, obviously pretty easy. SublimationSummit.com is where you want to head. But yes, give us a code. We always love a little extra here.
Yeah. Okay. So it's the OSG for our success group. And so if you put in OSG 25, you will get $25 off of the ticket. And trust me when I tell you, it will be worth every single dime. I can assure you, it will be worth it. And I mean, I wish I could show you the platform because it's so stinking cool. Yeah. I mean, it really is. You got to see it, right, Aaron?
Uh-huh. Yeah, I saw you had the live. Was it yesterday morning or 2 mornings ago? Whatever it was. All the days run together right now for you.
For sure. For me, they're just, it's just one continuous day.
Yeah, totally. All right. Well, in 2021, I have a driver already, so we will be heading there. So,
Jerry, I love it. Nice. I didn't know you were a driver, but hey, let's do it. Maybe you should pick me up on the way.
Well, he's here in St. Louis with me, so that.
Okay.
We'll figure out where. Yeah, I love it.
Great.
Cool. All right. So SublimationSummit.com is where you go. And then OSG 25 is what you use to get $25 off. Tell us about, I notice I'm over here on the site right now. I noticed that there are actually 2 options though. This is a pretty cool deal here. I didn't realize
so the option is you can still purchase a ticket for next year. It was going to be this year. It's $4.99. If you're interested, message me and I'll give you a code that you can get a discount because the OSG 25 doesn't work for that, but I'll give them an OSG something. And it'll probably be for $50 off of the $4.99 price. And that will give you a ticket for next year, but it'll also give you the virtual ticket. So you only pay for one, and that's it. But I just want to say something that Ashley is saying, because true, and that is very intimate. And it was that's the truth, Ashley. It was really an intimate. I mean, it felt like, even though there were, 300 people with the vendors and everything, there was just a feel of intimacy. There really was. And, making friends that you didn't know, seeing people that you could put a face to with a name. And it was so cool.
Yeah.
And then also love that Cheryl count us. And yes, Ashley, for sure. And then also love, okay.
Here, sorry. I'm clicking there. I clicked the wrong one. There we go. It moved on me.
Love that classes will be available to rewatch too. So that itself makes it.
That in itself makes it more than worth it. Yeah.
Yeah.
True.
So true.
Nice.
So true.
Excellent. Okay. Well, that is fantastic. So get over there, check that out, sublimationsummit.com.
And if you guys want to see my conversation with Aaron and Todd on Tuesday, come join Sublimation for Beginners and Beyond. And if you're in there already, yay.
Yep, exactly. So get over there and check that out.
And if you want to join, you must answer all the questions, or you will be booted before you even get it.
The purgatory, yes.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. Take the time to answer all the questions, but get over there. So again, Sublimation for Beginners and Beyond is where you'll find that on Facebook. And also make sure that you're checking out the summit. This is great, Cheryl. I'm really excited about all of it. And thank you so much for all that you're doing for the sublimation world. Any last thoughts before we call it a day, Cheryl?
Just that I honestly just am so appreciative of what you're doing. Thank you. And I really am, because I think you are over the years, as you get to know people, you get to know who they are and what they stand for. And as you were talking about the core values, and Aaron, you're definitely one of those that are top notch in the industry. And I appreciate you, and I appreciate what you do for our industry.
Well, thank you so much. That really means a lot coming from you. So definitely appreciate that. And, cool. Well, Cheryl, thank you so much for your time here this morning. I know very busy. You got the birthday weekend happening. So again, happy birthay to you.
Thank you.
Enjoy some time with your family, and we will talk to you on Tuesday.
Yay. Bye, everyone. Thank you so much. Thank you for having me.
Awesome. Have a great day, Cheryl.
All right. Take care.
Cool. Wow. That was great. I just, again, love talking sublimation myself, and then getting to do that with Cheryl, somebody who has a true passion for it. Obviously what she's doing with the summit, it takes having that passion for it. It's a ton of work. She's mentioning getting up at 2:30 in the morning and then, putting in work all day to get this going. Pivoting is one thing to go, okay, we're just to do a virtual summit, but then actually putting together the details of making a virtual summit happen is massive. You've got to coordinate all the speakers, make sure that they can still do it, make sure that they're comfortable doing it on camera, make sure that they can get on camera, for crying out loud. So that's always a challenge. And then, working with the event location to make sure that, hey, we're not going to be able to do this, obviously. So how do we work that out, and covering the costs? And so anyhow, it's just always really fun to have an opportunity to talk to somebody that's got as much passion, if not more, than me about sublimation and our industry and the things that we do. So love all that. One more time, let me just put this up here for everybody to see. If you are catching the podcast version, it's sublimationsummit.com is where you want to go, and then use the code OSG25 to save $25 on that virtual ticket. And if you're interested, and I would say this is really obviously the virtual ticket is a great bargain in itself, but the getting the 3-day pass for next year's live virtual summit on top of the virtual this year, I mean, that's a smoking good deal. So even at $4.99, and Cheryl said if you messaged her, you could get even a better deal. But $4.99 is a smoking bargain on what I think is going to be a great event next year. Can't wait for this year coming up in 2 weeks. Actually, if you go to the page, it's got a countdown clock. So let's see where we at right now. It is 11 days, 21 hours, 47 minutes, and 53 seconds away. All right, cool. So let me wrap up here today. Ashley, I like this. Ashley says, I love her. I call her the Martha Stewart of sublimation. So really, really awesome. We've got the sublimationologist too. Man, I've got some great stuff today. So, good stuff, Jerry. Thank you. All right, cool. Any last questions for you guys? What do we got going on? I loved all of the show and tell there. I loved all of the creative thinking. So that's what you guys need to do with your sublimation business. Get out of the rut. Get out of just doing the same thing all over. Look at some new things. Now is the perfect time to try out. Bring some things in, test. You're going to have to spend a little money, but money is an investment in the future success of your business. What are you going to be offering for the fourth quarter here? What are you going to be doing to be different, be more, be better? That's what we have to do to be successful. If we're going to wrap this whole thing up here today into the Small Business Saturdays, what can a small business do to better themselves? All of the things that we got to talk to Cheryl about today, you can wrap that up into, and this is what Cheryl does so well, is just try as little things, doing a little bit better every day. You don't have to make these big wholesale changes every day. All you have to do is try something new, learn from it. Either it's a success or failure, doesn't matter. Try something new, invest in yourself, invest in your business, and move forward a little bit every day. So Michael asked what was her Facebook group. That's Sublimation for Beginners and Beyond. Let me see if I can, I won't pull that up, but if somebody has a link and wants to put it there in the Facebook side, please feel free, and I will do it after I'm done here as well if we didn't get that. But again, that's Sublimation for Beginners and Beyond. So go over and check that out, Michael. It's well worth it. It's a great group. All right, cool. So I think that's a wrap for today. Coming up here, again, as Cheryl mentioned, Todd and I are going to get the opportunity to be live with her, and we're going to talk a little bit more about OSG over there too. And so that's happening on Tuesday. Later that day, Todd will have Tuesdays with Todd right here at liveosg.com for the YouTube side, or at the Facebook group, facebook.com/Our Success Group Pro is where you can find those things happening. So Tuesdays with Todd is happening. And then Wednesday, we kick off our 5 keys for our success group. So if you have any questions about our success group, please let me know. We do have a price increase happening on September 1st. So go over there and lock in your membership prices today. And that way you get the price that are happening right now. And when we raise it, you still get to keep that same price for the life of your membership. So no problems there. All right, cool. Guys, great day, hour 13 minutes in. So I'm going to call it a day. We appreciate everybody tuning in today, and look forward to talking to everybody next week. Thanks a lot.